Hello, 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 Taurus. This is your March 2023 video. So let's start at the beginning. March 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, a completion, a closure, and an ending. Okay, it's in the sign of Virgo. It's a full moon in Virgo, right? Virgo energy is projects and jobs. It's routines. It's daily routines. It could involve our pets. It could involve the health care of ourselves, the routines, the things that we do with our own health. It could even be hygiene. Like, do we clean, like shower? Do you shower every day? And if you do you wash your hair every time you shower? Like health routines, right? The minutia, the little things like shaving, right? Brushing the teeth. Just like even getting the haircut and grooming. Think of what cats and dogs do. Like you see them licking themselves sometimes and just grooming. This is Virgo energy, right? So Virgo is the full moon and it's at 1640. So that's like a 17-degree full moon. Endings, closures, completions, projects, jobs, tasks. For Taurus energy, this is happening in your fifth house. So the fifth house is children and fun and joy and creativity and romance. Right. So do your pets feel like your children? Because you got Virgo in the house of children. Do you do creative things with your pets? Like I know one time I was going to put like little outfits on the cats. It wasn't really my idea. Somebody bought it as a gift and it was like, there would have been like a little hat I could have put on Zoe. And like, I don't know, we never did it. I was going to do it because I thought it would be great because Taffy and Zoe like to show up during the videos. I thought it would be hilarious, but that would be a fun thing. Fifth house, fun. Romance, children. It's also how you take a risk with your body, right? So it's Virgo. So Virgo is alternative methods. It doesn't want to do the things that everybody does. It's very holistic. It's an earth sign. So it wants to do things that make sense, that are practical, that are logical. Things should have a purpose. Like I don't want to have things and not have I'm not going to own this unless I have a purpose for it, right? But this is in your creativity. So your creativity is going to be very earthy and grounded, right? And so your children, even like your creations, earthy and grounded, right? And so if there's a closure, a completion, and an ending, and it's a full moon, family can be involved. Your emotions can get heightened because it's a full moon. And this will only be a thing if you have something near the degrees of the full moon. So in your chart, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 degrees of Virgo. All right. Now, I had to do a little bit of extra homework for this full moon because subconscious perfection is a thing here. Very high ideals because it's the degrees of 17. Okay. And in my studies, that's what's coming up, subconscious. And so there can be a volcanic eruption, and this would be of emotions because we're talking about a full moon. Think about this. Virgo can be digestion, so you want to be careful with that one. Yeah, like I can think of a few different things when I hear volcanic eruptions and digestion. Like, okay, that doesn't sound fun. That could be painful for some people, and that also can be like take cover, right? And I mean that in a fun way because we're in the house of fun, right? The house of jokes, right? That's the comedian, the fifth house, the comedian. And creative endeavors. This can also be mating, dating, and relating, right? So if you're a Virgo and if you got a Virgo in your life, or you've just got somebody in your life like that you're dating or your romantic partner, if you have something to those degrees, there might be something that could be that you're like, I don't want to do that anymore. It could be a thing that you guys did to go out on a date, like one of the routines, like maybe Friday night was date night. Well, now it's not going to be anymore, right? So it's just a completion. It's an ending, right? It could be, I don't know, maybe you literally did some creative thing together. Maybe you went walking together. That doesn't sound that creative, I know, but it's alternative and it's health. Virgo's very health conscious. It's really focused on its body and it wants to do things that it's good for its stomach and its digestion, right? Virgo is like the zodiac's troubleshooter. It connects the dots and the pieces. Okay. Now being very idealistic and all about perfection and could be a little critical. We have to remember it's domestic because the fifth house, this can be in your home. So maybe you're living with your partner. Maybe you're not just dating and relating. Maybe you're now living together. There might be something where it's like, okay, I got to give that up. I can't do that particular routine anymore. And it may involve pets. It may involve food, even. It may involve cleaning, even, right? There might be some sort of a cleaning thing you did, right? Think of domestic life, ironing, washing clothing, washing the dishes, right? Like there's 1,000 different chores. That's Virgo, the chores that nobody wants to do. That's Virgo. It will step up and do the chores that are needed because it wants to serve. It really does. It just finds that when it tries to engage with others, it can have a hard time because people may look at that Virgo energy and say, "Oh my God, but uh it's so picky," right? They may use the word picky because Virgo has a knack for seeing the details. What it doesn't recognize is not everybody else can see those same details. So to everybody else, those same details aren't important. And it frustrates Virgo because it understands how those details are so important. Right. It understands those details together make the complete picture. Right. So anyway, a closure and an ending. Now, the big deal about this full moon is Saturn. Right. Saturn is changing signs. It's leaving Aquarian energy and it's going into Piscean energy, Taurus. Yeah. So where is Pisces in your chart? You have Pisces energy. Let me double check my chart. You have Pisces energy in your 11th house of friends and groups. Yeah. So what this means is Saturn is about structures and organizing. That's Saturn's goal. I want to create structures. I want to organize. Now you have Pisces in your 11th house, right? So Pisces, Saturn and Pisces. Pisces is like the spiritual, people who are theatrical. It's the movies. It can be politicians. So some could say that your friends can be a bit dramatic at times, even, right? Think about this. So if you have Saturn go there, Saturn can create some structure with that. Saturn can also say, well, now there's some rules with that, right? Because Saturn is a bit serious. Pisces is more about fantasy and make believe. So what's going to happen is Saturn is going to add a little bit of a serious tone to Piscean energy. So Pisces rose colored glasses, Saturn's going to come through that sign and its rose colored glasses are probably going to be taken off. Saturn's probably going to come along and be like, okay, you're ready for this now. Like you've had more than enough time. You know, you've had the rose colored glasses on for a while. It's time to take those off and for you to put these clear glasses on. So it's going to be a mixture of rules and regulations and responsibilities and job and work even because it's Saturn and Saturn represents our ambitions and our goals. So if Saturn goes into Pisces, right, this is like spiritual work. Spiritual work. Yeah. Spiritual work in group energy because it's your 11th house. Right. Now, maybe you're not into spiritual work. Maybe you're a composer. Maybe you sing. Maybe you write music. Maybe you write plays. Maybe you're into theater and you act. This is Saturn, work, goals, ambition going into Pisces, your 11th house. So the 11th house is angelic realm. It's astrology. It's friends in high places. It's inventions that help the advancements of humanity. So I love this. Love, 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 love it. And I'm excited. I'm like, can't even wait for all this to happen and to see how this shows up in everybody's life. So this is 0 degrees of Pisces and Saturn will be here for 2.5 years. Yes, this happens on March 7th. Now we move into another thing happening. It's towards the end of the month. It's March 21st. There is a new moon in Aries. It's a big deal because it happens on the world axis point. Aries energy is about I am first. Mars rules Aries. So Mars being born for war, world access point, meaning it's global. It's on a big scale. This makes me think of NATO. Right. This focuses my mind on NATO energy. Absolutely does. 0 degrees of Aries, world access point. Mars was born for war. It wants to be first. It can be impulsive, but it is also about my body autonomy. It is about my body, my independence and the freedoms and the actions of my body. It's about body consciousness, right? And it's also going to be about the color and our appearance. What color is my flesh? Is it white? Is it brown? Is it black? How do I look? Are my eyes slanted? Like, because it's 0 degrees and it's Aries energy. It is all about how you appear, right? So world access point, 0 degrees, new beginning, a big deal. And the visual for that is power of clearly visualized ideals. power of clearly visualized ideals. It tells us at this degree, because it's so powerful, that if you have the power, use your power of visualization, you can attain the material. Your actions will happen, because when we focus on what we want, when we set our intentions and we crank in, our willpower and our desire and our emotions, we crank in our emotions. Remember, this is a new moon, so emotions are involved here. But the emotions aren't really outward. It's what you feel inside. It's your passions, what you're passionate about, what you will fight for, what you will not back down from. That is this 0 point of Aries. And so you use that and you write that down in your intentions and you say, this is going to happen. I'm going to make this happen. What happens is your choices, your conversations, your communications, your talk, the way you relate to people, and every action from that point on changes and it aligns with what your intention was. And you have the ability to make it happen. It may not happen overnight, but over time it will happen. And so this is super powerful if you have something near the 0 degree mark. So that means 1 degrees of Aries and 2 degrees of Aries. That means 28 degrees of Pisces and 29 degrees of Pisces. That's all going to be conjunct. That's all going to be close enough to be part of this new moon. Okay. Now, another thing happens here. 2 days later, just 2 days, at the 23rd of March, we have Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius. Yeah. Aquarius is astrology, right? So I'm like so geeked up about it. It's insane, right? And I'm not like, yeah, it's like the geeked up part doesn't like really like come out and just like, just do what I'm doing right now until I sit down and I'm like doing this. And then it's just like, okay, G, chill out, relax, take a few breaths. It's going to be okay. Breathe and then talk. So Pluto is here to change and transform. Aquarius energy is inventions. So it's shit that hasn't even been invented yet. I'm so excited about this, right? It's going to transform and change astrology. It's going to change and transform the way we think about it, the way we use it. It's going to transform group energy. It's going to transform science and medicine. It's inventions. Shit's not even created yet, right? So this is electricity. This is power. This is individual power. And when I say individual power, it is the power of me as an individual, but it is also, hey man, I want battery backup in case there's a storm or in case some wackadoodle decides to shut down a power station. Like, I want individual power. Pluto's coming through here and it's going to start changing and transforming that. All right. Now, what you need to know is where this happens in your life and like when this happens, for how long it happens, because things are going to be moving around. So before I tell you all that, what I'm going to say is Pluto going into Aquarius has never happened for anybody who's alive and breathing right now. This is a first time ever. This is a never, ever, ever seen before, a never before experienced. I've never experienced it. You've never experienced it. So we're all going to expect new, right? This is new, and we don't know what to expect. It means expect the unexpected because it's Aquarius energy. So it's friends and groups. And for you, my friend, this happens March 23rd, Pluto into Aquarius. It's going to stay there for a few months and then it backs out and it goes back into Capricorn for the rest of the year. But then a year from now, Pluto will be going back into this. It'll be going back to 0 degrees Aquarius. So use these months, these first few months of the year, right? January, February, March, April, May. Use that time to pay attention, to see what's changing, to see how things are acting. Nerve energy, the nerves in your brain, the neurons in your brain are going to be activated because Uranus energy is nerves and it's changing and transforming that. So it's going to transform the way you think. New neural pathways in your brain, in my brain. It's going to happen, right? And it's also like, yeah, you should expect things to be changing in terms of your vocation in your work. For some of you, if you're already on the path, whatever that path is that you're supposed to be on, right? It's your soul's history and your soul's memory and however your soul set it up in your chart. Whatever that is, if you're not on it, Pluto's going to make some changes for you so that you get on it, because that's what Pluto does. And it does it at the root level. All right. So it shows us things that we didn't see before. All right. So this can be with the friends that we hang with in our groups. Okay. It's online even, right? Digital communications, right? All that's going to change. Social media platforms and all that. Like, yeah, things going to be going to the next level, and it's going to it's fast. It's real fast. Independent power, independent action. And this is for once Pluto gets back into Aquarius in 2024, it's going to stay in your Aquarian energy till 2044. Yeah, 20 years. Now, I want to say right here, right now, I'm doing a deep dive course on Pluto in Aquarius because I've never lived through this, and I don't know anybody who's lived through it. There's nothing. We don't have any. This is virgin territory, folks. Virgin territory. So what we're going to do is I am going to be doing some extra additional studies to figure this out. Okay. I'll be getting with some other like-minded individuals and hunkering down and just talking it out and talking it through and studying. Okay. I'm going to offer a course. I'm going to offer, a deep dive class on this, and we'll meet together on Zoom. So just keep your ears perked for that for the future. And it's a way where we can interact and just simple. It doesn't have to be boring where I'm just talking, you're watching a damn video. Like, we can actually have an exchange if we want. Right? It'll depend on how many people want to do this, but I think it'll be great. And that's where I'm going to do deep dive information on what I've learned. Okay. So I'm going to be offering this soon because I've kind of already begun. All right. I've kind of already begun the studying. But keep that in mind. Okay. So that is your March 2023. Just be open to changes. Okay. Especially in that house of career and vocation. All right. This can be older people in your life because it's Saturn. Saturn is the ruler, and Aquarius, someone who's an authority figure, right? For that Pluto there. Remember, it backs out and then it goes back in a year from now. So keep track these few months, write things down as to what it could be, because it's a foreshadow moment. It's showing you that when 2024 comes, this is what's going to be happening, because it's going to revisit the same area, the same degrees. All right. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. So below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.